Hey friend, what's going on? So today I just want to get on here to just kind of give a quick little, recap of my day. It is Sunday today, and I just got off an amazing interview with the Slay Queen, Rochelle Hemingway, which is one of my good friends, sister in arms. We both served in the United States Air Force, and y'all, it was a great show. And the reason I'm saying that because I got the opportunity to really kind of just share about my journey, not like all of it, but just to kind of talk about when I first went on her show, like the first time she interviewed me, which was 2023, right before retiring from the military. Actually, no, I had retired from the military. I think it was like a couple months after retiring from the military, the Air Force. Woo woo. And just the evolution of what 2023 was compared to where I am now in 2026. And it feels good. And sometimes as a woman, as a woman who is just navigating, whether you're navigating life, career, or business, through all the challenges, sometimes we don't really take stock of the things that we have achieved and accomplished. I mean, we do mentally, but sometimes just having it pulled out from a conversation with someone to where you're able to like hear yourself say, like, I was able to do X, I was able to do this, I was able to do that. And during the interview, we kind of talked about, where I was in 2023 compared to where I am now, from shifting from multiple businesses, just kind of, in a sense, just finding my path and finding my journey. And for someone who is multi-passionate, who have all the skill set and knowledge from not only serving the United States Air Force for 22 years, but also the investment that I've made in myself to, one, increase my knowledge when it comes to understanding the brain, which I'll be talking more about this when it comes to, like turning stress into strength, the power of self-leadership, because that is my focus here, is to really tap it and bring more insight when it comes to the power of self-leadership. And we talked about just the growth overall. And another thing that we talked about was the belief system. And I'm glad she brought this up. I'm glad Rochelle brought this up, because a lot of times we as women, including myself, there may be doubt, there may be fear, there may be challenges, life challenges, career challenges, parenting challenges, relationship challenges, all the challenges that you may be experiencing. And you start questioning things. I know for me, last year alone, there were a lot of transition for me, from the loss of my dad to ending a 7-year relationship, making that choice, and just questioning now, being a parent to 3, as now back into being a single parent. And I am fine with that, but you do envision life to be a certain way, and then it shifts because things happen, partnership ends, relationship ends, career pivot, business closure, whatever that is. But that belief system allows you to move forward. And we talked on the show about why is that belief system essential? Why is it important? And I want to just share that with you as a woman who could potentially be currently navigating so much in your life, so much in your business, so much in your career, and you're questioning things, you're questioning where you're at, you're questioning your ability to have the life that you want. And I'm here to tell you, I'm here to remind you as your friend, okay, because if you're watching this, we friends, okay, is to know that whatever you tell yourself, and some days it's not going to be great things that you're saying to yourself. Maybe there's anxiety, maybe there's things that are just kind of like boiling up in you that is causing you to kind of go into this unhealthy spiral. Know that your belief system and your self-leadership are going to be the two things that help you to shift into a higher belief system. And the reason I'm saying self-leadership, because everything starts with you. Everything starts with self. Deciding, walking, choosing, believing, accepting, discarding, whatever that is, starts with self, which is you. So if you're telling yourself, friend, that you're not going to achieve this, if you're telling yourself, I'm not good enough, if you're telling or questioning, why me, why this, those are normal things to say, but I don't want you to sit in that for a long period, because that will hinder your ability to move forward. That will hinder your ability to self-lead, because I know you want more. I know you want to be that great parent. I know you want to have this business. I know you want to have the career. I know you want to lead your team. And from someone who has led teams in the military, at different levels, different tiers, in combat, trust me, the belief system of yourself is something that you gotta build, and you have to build it so strong to when something does happen, like like I got this, like that self-talk, and we talked about that on the show. When I say that self-talk, friend, that self-talk, that what you say to yourself is going to be essential to your belief system. And I want you to have a healthy belief system and know that whatever it is that you want to achieve, it can happen. Whatever challenges that you are going through, you can get over those challenges. You can overcome those challenges. It is going to take time. It is going to take work, but it also is going to take belief in yourself that you are able to do this thing. Okay. And what else did we talk about on the show? So we talked about belief. We talked about balance. Someone asked the question, how do you decide what to share and what not to share? And as someone who is in, online, who is like right here on YouTube sharing, and I share a lot on LinkedIn, on Instagram, but also I share here on YouTube. Because sometimes you'll have people who just share all the dirt of the challenges, like step by step that occurred in their life, in their businesses, or in their career. And for me, and I responded to the question, or I answered the question to let that person know, like, for me, it doesn't have to be that way to still get your point across, and still share your journey and your story. Because for me, I share enough to where you can still connect with me. You can still hear my challenge and my experience without focusing on the negative things, because I choose not to live in that space. And that is part of my self-leadership, because I want to make sure that when I think up here, mentally, it's not full of negative thoughts, because I've been there, and sometimes we get there, but we have to figure out, how do I shift out of that instead of allowing that to just hold on. So when it comes to that question, I shared, like, for me, it's about sharing to where I don't share the hurt, but I share the experience, and I share what I did to overcome those challenges. Okay, so we talked about that. We also talked about, wellness and making sure that we are taking care of our overall self as we are leading, as we are building, as we are looking to grow in our lives, in our businesses, in our career. We talked about transitioning, because this thing be falling off. We talked about challenges that not challenges, transitions, because like I said, 2025 was a year of transition. My dog passed away after 15 years, and that was sad. Ending a relationship, that was sad, grieving that, my dad passing. But all of that, and how I was able to deal with that, through counseling, having conversation, but also through self leadership, my belief system, knowing that I can get over these challenges. I will continue to grieve on my own time for losing my dad, but when it comes to other things, I look at, okay, if that is no longer serving me, why am I still holding on to that? And you might be in the same situation with whatever you're dealing with right now. I would ask you, if it's not serving you anymore, excuse me, why are you holding on to that? So it was a great conversation. It's like two great friends just connecting and sharing, and then people are watching live and listening, and quite a few people resonated with the conversation. And I will, my goal is to share it here as well too, so you can learn more about me, who I am as a person. Because for me, it's about connecting with the right people, the people who are looking for change, the people who are looking to live the life that they want to live, but the people who are looking to self-lead into the things that they want to. And when I say self-lead, it's truly like to lead yourself well so that you can lead others well. Also, we talked about things, oh, excuse me, things that I was able to do after years of wanting to do this thing, do this specific thing. I'm like, do this specific thing was the launch of my book. And I'll be talking more about this. And this is my book that I finally wrote last year, y'all. And I am so proud of myself because I decided to, and I wanted to write a book, not this specific book, but a book, since I transitioned out of my divorce, because that was challenging, and my experience and what I overcame through that. I wanted to make sure that I wrote a book based on how to not lose yourself while going through a divorce, you know. But what I decided to do was to write my experience when it comes to, you know, 22 years in the military, going through divorce, loss of a parent, dealing with anxiety, and, you know, using things that I was able to do from my mindset, my resilience, my ability to keep moving forward, to help more women who are ambitious, who are driven, who are go-getters, who are operating and leading high stress roles, because that woman is me, you know, that woman who, you know, I served 22 years in the military. So this book is really for that woman who, you know, wants to gain clarity of her identity, so she never loses who she is as a person, as a woman, because she's doing so many things. Okay, it's to help you build resilience and renewal strategies to overcome setback and thrive. Because my goal for this is to help women like yourself to thrive no matter what's happening in life, because I've done it. Okay, so it's great to just kind of talk about this very briefly, and also share the workbook that comes along with this, because for me, it's not about just saying, hey, I wrote a book. It's really about helping women to reclaim who they are as a woman, who is building, who's growing, who is executing, who is like, I don't want to be running a business or a career, or being in my career where I'm exhausted and mentally drained, but the woman who's like, I'm ready to breathe, okay, and who is ready to truly lead and thrive in their lives, in their businesses, in their careers, no matter the season. So that was great. And then another thing that we talked about was, what was the other thing that we talked about? She asks, when, you know, at the age of 80, what do you want your family members to say about you? And which she asked this question before when I was, and I know more likely is different. And what I shared was, one, that I was kind, that I was the person, like, if you needed support or you wanted to get to something, or to achieve something, that I was that person to help you get to the finish line, because that is who I am naturally. Like, if you come to me and you say, hey, Shevvy, I want to do this, I'm like, okay, let's go. What are we doing? Here's what we're doing. Like, I'm already building out that plan for you to let's get to that finish line. And I also said, you know, I want them to say, like, you know, Shevvy was ambitious, she was driven, she was impactful, but she loves dancing. She also loved to laugh, you know. So, and this is a question for you, like, when you get to that age of 80, God willing, of course, and I hope to get to that point, because both of my parents are gone, unfortunately, and I know it's part of life, but I want to enjoy life. Like, I don't want to settle, and I'm not settling. At this point of where I'm at in my life, I am no longer settling. And I want you to look at where you're at on your life's journey and ask yourself, what things do I need to change, to have the life that I want? I'm not saying that life will be perfect. Life is not perfect. Life is abundant. Life is challenging. Life is fun. Life is hard. But you get to decide. You get to choose. And that's self-leadership. Like, you get to choose every single day, friend. You get to choose every single day how you want to live, what changes you want to make, what transition you want to transition into, what shift do you need to create, what belief. Like, you get to choose. And it starts with self-leadership, my friend. Okay? And overall, it was a great conversation with a great friend. And one person said, like, they love the rawness of the conversation. So again, my goal is to post that entire hour plus conversation right here on my YouTube channel, Lead and Live Well with Shevvy, because for me, it's about truly leading and living well in this next chapter of our lives, because we're no longer settling. Not settling for friendship, relationship, all the shifts, okay? And it's time to really step into the things that you want. And if you're like, this is a channel for you, then definitely subscribe, stay tuned, because I want to bring more of this type of conversations to this channel. And know that this is a safe space for me to share, because I'm not here for the just like fluff. I'm here to really help more women like yourself and really talk more about the self-leadership, the wellness aspect, and also share a little bit of my lifestyle with you as well. So friend, I want to thank you for being here. Welcome to this space. And I'm going to be sharing more about my book, Woman Breathe, which I am so proud of myself. So if you are like been thinking about writing your book, whatever it is that you've been thinking about doing, friend, go and start that thing. It is 2026. This is your opportunity to self-lead yourself, to decide today to start that thing, whether it's a book, whether it's exercising, whether it's doing your half marathon, which like this year, I'm choosing to do a full marathon, and I have not signed up yet, okay? My goal was to sign up the first couple weeks of January. I did not, but I am still going to. That is one of my goals for 2026, is to run my first full marathons. I've done several, about 5 or 6 half marathons already. So running, I'm good at, but I just need to find one that I want to do. So my goal is to this month, okay, to officially, and I'll be sharing about that journey on here as well too. So as a reminder, friend, you're at a place where you want more for yourself. You want to enjoy life. You want to have the business without feeling like you're losing who you are, or the career without feeling like you're losing who you are. So what I'm also creating is a space for women like yourself to come into, and I'm just going to share this here if you choose to. And if you want to learn more about it, by all means, you can send me a DM on Instagram at Shevvy the Consultant, or you can click it in the description here of this this episode. And I'm hosting a 3-day virtual experience, and it's titled, it's all about helping women who are in the space of operating and leading in high stress role. This is a 3-day virtual experience to help women to reshift, and we focus a lot on, again, self-leadership is at the core of how we live and the life that we want, and the business that we want, and the careers that we want. So we focus on the self-leadership because, again, it's reclaiming your identity as a woman. We focus on strength, and when I say strength, we're talking about mental strength. So again, you're gonna see my brain often in here because I love learning about the brain. I love understanding about how our thoughts affect this right here. So, and then also we focus on stewardship. How are we stewarding, our time, our energy, the people, and then how do we sustain the things that we are doing in our lives so that we can have the type of life that we want? Because like I said, friend, if you are like me, we're at a place in our lives where we are not settling. Okay, we are not settling. We are going after the things that we want. We want to build the things that we want to build. We want to have the career that we want to have. We want to have the life, the parenting, all of that. But we have to choose self first. Okay, so that's all I have for today. I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing this and inviting a friend. So come on back again and have an amazing evening. Okay, and don't forget, self leadership starts with you. Have an amazing evening.